Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. You know, with this Seed Freedom movie coming out and like wanting to watch it, but really can't, it's been making me think of wanting the live action Gundam movie. Is there any more news to that? In fact, I remember I even started this channel partly because I knew that, they made the announcement of a live action movie and I wanted to get more into Gundam. So I'm like, yeah, I'll make a YouTube channel to learn about it, get people hyped up. So, where are we now with the Gundam movie now that it's 2024? Last we had heard was Jordan Vogt-Roberts was the director. They had been working on writing it, but they have been in production, and they've just been, kind of working on the little details before they go into full-on production. There's been little teases, I guess, to what it could be about. They've discussed that they're going to try to make it where it's for everyone, regardless of what type of Gundam you're into. So I went to go check his IMDb as one does, because you can't really trust IMDb, right? I mean, I think it's almost like Wikipedia where people can just kind of edit entries. But if we look at what's upcoming for him, there's two things: Gundam TV series, Gundam 1, the live action movie. Now, these are new to me. I have been following this, haven't in the past few months. I don't know if this stuff popped up recently and it's already been talked about. I haven't seen this, so I think this is pretty crazy. So if I was to click into this Gundam 1 live action movie, which again, this means, okay, it says after an attack on his space colony high above the planet Earth, Amuro Ray climbs in his father's prototype mobile suit, a Gundam, to protect the populace from Zeon invaders. Strict adaptation of the animated movie Mobile Suit Gundam 1. So there's a lot of interesting things going on here. There's a lot of details. Strict adaptation of the animated movie Mobile Suit Gundam 1. So are they taking the original cartoon trilogy that we see already on Netflix, and that they are going to make that live action? That makes sense considering Netflix will be distributing the movie. So if that's the case, and they already have the movie trilogy on there, that's kind of a way for new viewers to kind of feel like they can connect with something, or like, hey, yeah, there's the animated movies on Netflix, but did you know there's the live action version if you prefer that? But it's interesting how they say to protect the populace from Zeon invaders. They could be saying Zeon invaders because they kind of did invade in to look for a prototype mobile suit to see if it existed. But I wonder if they're reframing it in any way. I mean, I'm really just speculating, but I think it's pretty amazing that if this is accurate, they're going with Gundam 1, the live action movie, even with a picture from the concept art that Jordan Vogt-Roberts himself released. Again, this might not be true, but this sounds awesome. Yoshiyuki Tomino is the writer, obviously, because he came up with the original. What were some other things I saw that was on here that was interesting? Filming locations, Dublin, Ireland. So I'm not too sure if that's something that's sometimes just filled in here, or they really are filming in Ireland. Pretty neat. Okay, so we're for a look at the other one, this just Gundam TV series. As Earth's population has grown, people have fled to space colonies. Eventually, the colonists start to feel an urge for independence and start a war with the inhabitants of Earth. Pilots of mobile suits or robots engage in combat. So I like how in this they are saying pilots of mobile suits or robots to kind of get an audience to understand what's going on. That's why this seems like it could be accurate. What's also interesting about this is talking about, the colonists start to feel an urge for independence. And start a war with Earth. So this is not talking about anything specific to do with Universal Century, just kind of the basis of the Gundam stories in general. So I wonder how much this Gundam TV series coming out is supposed to go along with the live action movie, almost like side stories or something else. It's a placeholder for maybe a Zeta TV series. I'm kind of wishing and hoping there. Or it could be something completely different, but the story, even at its roots, is very similar to the UC Gundam, and it doesn't even, none of what we've seen from these two descriptions talk about people building Gunpla to then fight in battle. So, I'm hoping that the live-action Gundam movie is an adaptation of the original UC Gundam. But I won't mind if it's something else, but I really like what I'm seeing here. And when I was looking at what else Jordan Vogt-Roberts has directed, Skull Kong Island, I think being his biggest, he did direct Nick Offerman in this Nick Offerman American Ham. And the reason I bring this up is because this is a direct connection for Ramba Ral. We know Nick Offerman should be Ramba Ral. Jordan Vogt-Roberts has worked with him. I think there's a connection there, right? Am I just making that up? And I wanted to look at Larry Fong here. He's actually a notable cinematographer that worked on Kong Skull Island. Yes, thank you. He's worked with Zack Snyder stuff like 300, Watchmen, Batman vs Superman. It's very interesting here because if we look at like The Predator, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Batman vs Superman, even back to 300, Larry Fong can get very stylized with the cinematography, but also kind of rein it back to the basics and just do good storytelling. I just bring him up because since he did Kong Skull Island, I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that. It makes me think, maybe he could be used as the cinematographer for the Gundam movie. I'm really big on that aspect of filmmaking. Obviously, if he's not, that's okay. We do have these things that he's already working on, so who knows. Then that brought me to Greig Fraser. This is a cinematographer that I love his work. Like, he did Dune, Rogue One, even The Batman. So this guy, The Creator, if you guys haven't seen that yet, but these have the sensibilities in terms of cinematic style that I would want in a live-action Gundam movie. But what's very interesting is it just got released recently that the Batman 2 has been canceled. That was going to be potentially his next project. I don't know for sure. That then leave him room to work on this Gundam movie. I don't know. I am just, again, just wishing for this best case scenario. But I think it's actually pretty cool that we are getting this much information. Okay, so to kind of summarize what we've come across is the live action movie, as according to IMDb, is going to be called Gundam 1, the live action movie. That seems very specific. Even the summary was very specific in that it has to do with Amuro. Yoshioka Tomino being the writer. This could be people just filling this stuff in, sure, but I think it's very interesting that that's there, especially when there's a TV series also going along with that, which I think makes sense. I think if we look at what Legendary is doing with Monarch, they have the live action movies, and then they have the live action TV series on Apple Plus. So I can see that being a thing. A lot of what I'm seeing are the things I would wish for and hope for and want, but it all makes sense to actually happen in that way. So I'm super excited. I don't know if anyone else has any new Gundam live action movie news. I am going to keep looking this up and report on anything I find. If you have anything to report, let me know and I can report on it. So yeah, keep in touch with me, this channel. Stay on the lookout for any updates because yeah, I can't wait for live action Gundam movie. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think below. We'll talk later.